Hello, magnificent beings. Welcome to part 3 of the Soaring with Spirit series. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Eva Gregory. I help spiritual entrepreneurs create a healthy, sustainable online business. And one of the biggest passions I have that underlies absolutely everything I do is helping folks like you create that deeper connection to spirit and to be able to apply your own inner guidance to do whatever it is you want in your life, whether it's in your personal life or your business or relationships or health, and especially now while we are navigating this pandemic. My intention with the Soaring with Spirit series is transformation. Transformation over information. And creating a sacred space here and inviting you to be fully present and open to the shifts and the changes and the connection to spirit that is available to you. Hey Sally, hey Marissa, good to see you. In part 1 and part 2 of this series, we looked at what inner guidance is. We went through the 4 inner guidance superpowers, the 5 meta senses, and then I took you through my 3-minute miracle process using the Mindfulness Bell app. This is absolutely amazing to really start retraining your brain to learn how to be able just to drop into present moment and connect with spirit no matter what is going on in your day. And it's especially useful if you find that the fears and the doubts are starting to surface for you. But it gives you that ability to deepen the connection to your spirit, to tap into your intuition and your inner guidance. The fact is, we all can do this. We all have the ability to tap into our inner guidance. This is not just for a few people. We are getting our guidance in a lot of different ways. Guidance is always there. Spirit is always talking to us. It's always talking to us. The question is, are we listening, right? And sometimes you don't understand how it's coming through. And once you do know that, then it's like the light bulb comes on, right? So if you have not watched the part 1 and 2 of this series, I highly recommend you go back and do that, where you can learn what your own inner guidance superpower is and how to access that. We're going to continue to open ourselves to the shifts and the changes that are occurring right now as we learn to deepen our connection with spirit. And that means that at any point in time, when there's something that's showing up that you would prefer not to have in your experience, you've got an opportunity right now to shift that, okay? And so what is the outcome you want to hold? How do you want it to be different? You can see the current situation right now and you could feel hopeful, or you could see the current situation right now and you could feel fearful. And you've probably gone up and down the gamut. I think we all have gone up and down the gamut. But we do have an option of choosing where we put our focus. We can focus on hope or we can focus on fear. And when we tap into our inner guidance, there is only the focus forward in hope. There's only the focus forward in what's wanting to be born out of this, which is goodness. Thank goodness it is goodness. Hello, Stephanie. Good to see you. And so when fears and doubts start to surface, really, this is where you want to stop, get into present moment, and tap into your guidance. This is where you're going to be supported in changing your perspective around whatever is happening and to see the goodness that is coming from it. But it's up to you how you choose to focus. It's a decision. And it helps to be able to tap into spirit and to be able to tap into our guides and our inner guidance and to ask for that shift in perspective, to support the decision, the new decision that we hold. And just in that shift in perspective, literally, you can change your reality. You can change the quality of your life. And I say it all the time, change your perspective and change your life. Even when things don't look like they've changed around you, your physical environment or whatever else is going on, how you feel is different. And so, therefore, how you start to see things is different, and therefore it is different. So we have that choice to make that decision on how we want to focus on this, and we have so much support to do that. The biggest message here is that we get to create our realities. We get to create it, no matter what else is going on. And we get to ask for the help to create our reality and to create a shift in our reality if it's something that we don't want. And I just want you to remember that whatever we want is what Spirit wants for us. Because our desires come from the core of who we are. They're not something we just make up on the fly. We don't wake up in the morning and say, I wonder what I'd like to desire today. Heck no, you desire what you desire, right? And so those desires come from the core of who you are. And so you just want to really trust that and understand if that's the case, Spirit is here. Inner guidance is here to help us to realize those desires and to help us when we get into our limiting beliefs and in our limited physical focus. And they help guide us back to our truth. We're starting to wake up. We're starting to wake up to this fact that it can be a different way, and that we're not stuck in the way things are or the way things have been in the past. And all of the chaos that's happening, we get to choose how we respond to it. And when we do, we get to create our own experience within it. So we can shift our experience once we understand our connection to Spirit and source energy. Sometimes I say, be careful what you ask for. I know that I'm saying, I want to master this. I really want to be able to live from the perspective of my higher self. And of course, the very moment I say, I want to be able to master living through the perspective of my higher self, what do I get? I get all kinds of obstacles and challenges show up in the way. But one of the things you've got to understand is when we want to master something, mastery doesn't mean we just get through the easy stuff. It means we get to practice with what we would consider the hard stuff, right? But the thing is we've got everything we need to do that. We are totally taken care of. We are totally supported. And that's really what it's all about. And that's why so many people sometimes will, they'll have to hit rock bottom before they kind of release and let go. Because once you get to that point, it's like, well, there's nothing else left to do, right? And then they surrender. And what they're surrendering, they're not surrendering their desires. You never surrender your desires. Source energy knows what your desires are, but you give up on the efforting. And that's what I'm always saying. We've got to let go. Let go and let God. Let go and let the angels. We've got to release the attachment. Release the wanting to effort it. That's the biggest thing. It's relax and allow. Relax and allow. And so thank goodness we don't have to wait until we hit rock bottom. That's the good news. There's so many shifts that are happening for us right now. Just in these past 2 days, so many things are already shifting. And some of them, you guys, maybe those of you who have been following the series here over the last couple of days, you might even be feeling some of those shifts now already. I will tell you, as you continue to do this work, you are going to see a lot of shifts happening over the next few days and even the next weeks and beyond, as long as you continue doing the work. So I highly recommend you do. It's not taking a lot of your time. I'm giving you the basics and the most simple processes and things for you to do right now that will create all kinds of shifts and changes in you. I talk about transformation. You are wide open to transformation if you're willing to play the game, right? I like to keep it as a game. Well, goodness me. Hey, John, good to see you. Hey, Karen, Angela, Judy, Marilyn, hi. Marissa, hi, beautiful soul. So, hello, even everyone. I see everybody speaking. Great. Hey, 2 Johns, John Perigine and John Ramsey. Great. Good to see you guys. So good to see you guys. Just know the shifts are happening. And just please continue the work. It will create such a change in your life and how we deal with things as obstacles and challenges show up. And the more that we can really stop and just go within ourselves and tap into, see the truth in any situation and to see what's really there. And if we don't like what's there, then what is it that we choose instead? Where do you want to put your focus? What is the vision you want to hold? Because here's the other thing too, is when we're asking, we have the desires and we want to create shifts in ourselves. It's not happening just for ourselves. We are actually influencing others that want the same things as we do. So it's never a selfish thing. I hope that's clear, because I've had that question come up before where someone said, oh, but it's, it feels so selfish. It's not. It isn't. And one of the things that I do, if there's anything that I want, I say, I want this for myself and anyone else who wants the same thing. I don't want to say it's for everyone, because not everybody does want the same thing. That's why I'm very careful to say, I want this for myself and for anyone else who does want the same thing. So that's one of the ways that I actually amplify that. Hey, Kim. Hey, Anna. Welcome. And here's the other thing, too, the good news. Everything is liquid. Nothing is in concrete. And this is a good thing. And so because everything is liquid, we do get to shift. And we get to change moment by moment by moment. And the more we do this work, and the more we're tapping in, and the more that we're connecting in with this awareness that we've been talking about over the past couple of days, and have that be our game, this is it. This is our game. And so start practicing being more and more in present moment awareness, and asking yourself, what do I choose now? And then you make a conscious decision about what you choose. Just that right there, if we would just focus on that as we move through our day, what do I choose now? That would shift so much. It would shift so much. It's just remembering to do it. And I've had, I go up and down and all around. I don't have this aced yet either. I just want you to know that. I can easily get caught up in what's going on. I can fall off the wagon. And I just have to remember to pick myself up and get back on. That's it. And this is how we shift. So just understand that it's not a straight line from A to B. It's going to be up, down, under, over, around, and through. Feels like we're going backwards, and we're not. We're always going forward. But that's the work. And what I love about it is the fact that we can take 15 minutes in the day to get quiet, ideally first thing in the morning. And 15 minutes is not long. And that is 15 minutes that will remind you of what you're doing and why you're here, and the fact that we have support and we are not alone. And to also know it's enough as we move through our day. If you keep bringing yourself back into present moment awareness, just stop and drop in. Yesterday we talked about the Mindfulness Bell app. If you did not see that, I recommend you go back and see that, and get that app. And you set it on your phone and let it go off randomly, or every hour or every other hour. But as soon as it goes off, if you practice dropping in, getting into present moment for 30 seconds, for a minute, for 2 minutes, as a result, you will start to see shifts and changes. A lot of times it won't seem like it. I'm not kidding about that. It'll seem like we're going backward, but we're not. You just got to keep focusing forward. And please don't give up. Never give up. Never give up. Keep doing the work. You're going to see the changes. In fact, some of you, I would be surprised if you haven't started seeing some changes already. Evidence, synchronicities, ideas, inspiration, just feeling that something that has always bugged you before, all of a sudden it's not bothering you as much right now. Those are the kinds of things that start to happen. But never, 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 never give up. I don't care how much it seems like you're going backwards. I promise you, you are not. What happens is it's like this spiral ever upward, okay? The spiral ever upward. And so like we're going forward, and then it feels like, oh my gosh, we're going back down. But we're not. We're going back, but it's at a higher level. It's a higher frequency, and we're continuing to grow and expand. That's part of the way it works. And we are in growth and expansion. So hopefully you have started using the Mindfulness Bell app. You're learning to drop in when you hear the chime. And remember, there's nothing for you to do. There's no efforting. No action to take. You just stop the world and get off is kind of the way I picture it. But you just stop, get into present moment, and just allow that connection with your inner guidance. And that's all. You can be in appreciation and gratitude in that moment, or be in silence. But that's it. And sometimes it will be more successful than others. Again, not a straight line from A to B. Sometimes dropping in will take a little bit more effort, or it might feel like you didn't really get there. Other times it'll feel a lot easier. But the whole point of it is just to practice and keep retraining ourselves. That's what we're doing here. We've got to retrain ourselves to this new way of being. It's a new success habits. And what we're doing here is we are creating new success habits that are going to support us for a lifetime. And so just remember, it's this awareness, becoming aware, and also noticing how you feel. So if you are just typing in and maybe you're just sitting there and you're letting the monkey mind go and you're not really feeling anything, don't get attached to it. Just notice it and let it come in and let it go out. You've done your work. Even if it feels like nothing happened except that you were in monkey mind, I promise you, you've done the work. If you're doing that in your 15 minutes in the morning and that's how it feels, you've done the work. You set the intention. Remember, if any of you, by the way, who are here now, if you want the Mindfulness Bell 3-minute miracle process that I talked about in a previous, yesterday, just put hashtag chime on the comments. I know some of you are new here today. I'm happy to give you access to that. So the 15 minutes in the morning, and then this this dropping in for 30 seconds up to 3 minutes. It will change you so quickly. It is like, that's why I call it my 3-minute miracle process. It feels like a miracle how quickly things can change for you. Hey Karen, hey Bev, hey Roar, welcome. Oh, hey Kim, yeah, I know. I love it too. I want this for myself and for anyone else that wants this too. Always, always, always. All right, so I want to talk about how do we recognize guidance that we're getting versus gremlin or the other things that come in. Because what we're getting is as we start stepping into this, many of you have already been doing this kind of work for a while. We're just taking it deeper. Some of you, this is relatively new for. Welcome, if it is. Oh my gosh, get ready to surprise and delight your life. But this is really, as we're doing it, we've got to, what's the difference in guidance and gremlin? How do we know it's not our own thoughts versus its inner guidance that's coming in? So the first thing is that guidance is very subtle. It's very quiet. It's like this still small voice, basically. And there is a feeling of expansion or lightness about it, or there's a feeling of peace, a feeling that all is well. And so that's going to be your guidance. If it's your gremlin or your own thoughts, first of all, it probably doesn't feel good. It's like doubts and fears. That's your gremlin. That is not your guidance, okay? And they don't resonate with you. It doesn't feel good. It feels contracted. That is not your guidance. Your guidance never feels contracted, okay? But when the guidance, this is why we have to be quiet so we can hear it. Because guidance is just come this way. All is well. And our gremlin is going, what? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. That's our gremlin. Right? It's easy for the gremlin to get the attention. So that's why we've got to do these practices will help us with that. You become more sensitive to your guidance. Hey, Kara, welcome. So you will be shown the way. So, and the other thing about guidance is it's not going to just say, here's the steps, 1 through 20, A through Z. Do this, and this. It's not like that. You will be guided to the next step or the inspiration or the idea. Or something, you will have an inclination to get up and do something. That kind of thing. Sometimes, like I can get downloads for classes and writing and things like that. It still doesn't come all at once. But just know that it's going to come incrementally, usually. Okay? But the difference in your ego, gremlin, versus your guidance is that there is this sense of peace with your guidance, this sense of well-being. It resonates. Even if you, it feels good to you, even though you might think, really? I can have that? We can do that? Like you may not You may question it, but it resonates. Like you'd love to know that that is your truth, okay? So that's important for you to understand. Your gremlin never feels good. The gremlin never feels good. So that's another way. And the gremlin is usually your doubts and your fears, your limiting beliefs. And so this is some of the ways that you can really discern the difference. There's a sense of upliftment when it's your guidance. There's a level of confidence or well-being that you can get into. I know for me, I can be frantic about something and then I finally drop in and then I feel the energy and it's coming through. And then all of a sudden I'm completely reconnected. I feel great. And it's like, what was I thinking? I mean, that was nuts. But when we're in our stuff, we're in our stuff, you know, and it's real when we're in it. So that's why it's important to do the processes that I'm giving you is going to help so much for you to really get good at discerning what is your gremlin and what is your guidance. Yeah, what else do I want to say about that? It's just that the guidance is really subtle. And if it is too subtle, remember, ask, ask, ask. You can ask for anything. Anything from the ridiculous to the sublime, you can absolutely ask. And as I said yesterday, and if you don't know what to ask what to ask. Ask, what's the most important thing for me to know right now? Ask, what is the most important thing for me to be asking right now? And if it's too subtle, then ask for it to be clearer. Ask for it to become more obvious. Ask for the evidence. Ask for the evidence to be very clear. And sometimes what happens too is we will get the evidence. We'll get the evidence, but we're not getting everything. Say, okay, this is great. I got that. Now what? Now what do I do? Right? Just keep going within and asking for the guidance and just take the steps as they come. All right. So one of the things too is you can ask, say, I'm questioning this right now. I don't feel good right now. I'm doubting this. I've got fears right now. Ask for that to be released. So there's nothing that we have to try to do on our own. Absolutely nothing. And I know sometimes when it's little things, it's easy for us to think, okay, I want to try to work through this. It's like, just ask. Ask to release the negativity. Ask to release the worry. Ask, 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 ask. I can't say that enough. Ask, ask, ask. And then, of course, you know, you will have it. You'll know there'll be that sense of peace. But it's not always these big shifts and big ahas. It's little. It's the little shifts and a little aha. Okay? That's the way it will happen most of the time. The other way you'll know that you are more and more in alignment and being guided, because sometimes we don't even know we're being guided. We just think we get inspired to do something and we do it when it is guidance. And remember, all synchronicities are guidance. But if you find that something that's really bothered you a lot over a regular time, and all of a sudden you're realizing, wow, that's not even bugging me anymore. Or something that has been going on in your life, it dissipates and you don't even know it. You're not even aware until later you look back and you think, wow, it's been weeks since I worried about that or this issue came up. So those are some of the ways to be looking for it as well. You may start to notice that some of the limitations that you've held are starting to fall away. Or you're starting to notice, but they're they're just less and less. Or if somebody that really bugs you or annoys you, all of a sudden you're around them and it's like, whatever. Like they just don't bother you anymore. So just pay attention to these kinds of things, especially the subtle ones. It's easy to pick up on the big ones. We want to pay attention to the more subtle ones because there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. Hey, Susan, welcome. So ask for the evidence, always, always, always. Now, here's the thing. Ask for the evidence from a place of non-attachment. Can't be attached to the outcome or the answer. And without resistance, okay? Because if you're attached to the answer, then you're really not open to receive the guidance that's coming through. I see this a lot with folks who are, like you'll pull a card if you use tarot cards or you use the oracle cards, things like that, and you'll ask a question, you'll pull a card, and then you don't like the answer, so you'll put them back in and you'll pull another card. You're not really open to the guidance when you're doing that. or you don't like the answer, and so you'll put it back. So just know that we've got to ask, but you've got to be in a place of non-attachment and without resistance. And be very patient and be kind with yourself, especially if you're trying to work through something that's got you worried or fears or doubts that are coming up. And just know that the guidance can be very subtle and it can be very gradual. The other thing that you'll notice over time too is it'll feel like things are starting to happen out of the blue. I know you've all had these experiences where, wow, it just felt like the red carpet just rolled out in front of you and everything was just working in your favor. You know, you just kept moving forward and things were happening, or something comes to you, quote, out of the blue, and it's not out of the blue, it's out of your guidance. Okay, so start to notice these things. Start to notice. Here's the thing that's great about it. The more that you look for things, you consciously look for these things, the more you see them and the more you acknowledge them, the more you will see. The more you will see. It's Law of Attraction 101. And so it's a great way, once again, keep it light, make it a game, be curious about what's possible from a place of non-attachment. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play. So there you go. Oh, I know. Hey, Steve. Kim is just saying it's hard to release attachment and no resistance. You know, so here's what I recommend. Good point too, Kim. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, all of your comments are over here, so this is why I keep looking over here. Start asking for things that are not that heavy for you or that serious for you. So start asking for guidance around things that, like, wouldn't this be fun if I could, have this? Kind of start with that lighter energy and ask for guidance, and then start watching for the evidence. And then, because what happens is then you have the foundation to say, hey, I can trust this. So once that happens, then you start asking for guidance and help around the deeper issues or the bigger things that are going on in your life. And then it's easy for you to trust what you're getting rather than being in that attachment or the resistance. But this is why by the way, Kim, you were on yesterday. Hey, Marcy. You were on yesterday, and when I talked about the mindfulness bell, but having that mindfulness bell and you're practicing dropping in, like just several times during the day for the 30 seconds or so, that will help a lot. That'll help a lot. So I just want to talk to you also about how your higher self, your guides, spirit, handles predictions. Because there is some misconception of the role of our higher self and our inner guidance. I know a lot of folks think that if we're tapping into our guidance and our higher self, that we can predict our future. That is not the role of our higher self and our inner guidance, right? Besides, we are creating our realities moment by moment. So even if you get something, the future from, let's say, from someone else, and there are some really good psychics out there, so this is not to take away from that, but it's also reading the energy in the moment. And we are at free will. We do get to create our own reality, and so that's something that we're always being guided to what's in our highest good. All right. So our thoughts, our decisions, beliefs, they all play a role in the future that we create. And even if someone were to predict an outcome for you, you do have the ability to set a different outcome, all right? Because we are at free will. We can create for ourselves. And this is why I love this work, because it's about you taking your own, like you are your own best authority when you're tapped into your higher self, spirit, and your inner guidance. You are your own best authority above and beyond anyone else. And so this is like, claim it, claim your power. If others have an ability to help you see things in a different way, absolutely. You can be guided to those people. You understand? But you always want to bring it back to how is it resonating with you, because that is telling you what's your truth. You always know your truth when you're tapping into your inner guidance, right? And the other thing is it's always calling us to a better future than than what we're in right now, or what could happen, and it can exceed our expectations. Remember, we're down here on the human conscious awareness. We are so limited in what we can possibly know or even imagine. Our higher self, inner guidance, source energy, that is an infinite possibilities and probabilities, and when we can be open to allow that to come in, oh my goodness. So they're up at they're up at the 400,000 foot level. We're down in the trenches. There's so much we can see in the trenches, but oh my goodness, let your guidance, who is way beyond what anything we could imagine or see, guide you and lead the way. Hey Patricia, hey Anne, good to see you. So the way Spirit sees questions that are asking for a prediction, it's like what'll happen is you'll get help to create a better outcome than perhaps you were creating. You'll be guided to a better outcome. But, that's not the work here. If that were the case, then I would have won the lottery a long time ago, okay? So that is not the work they're here to do. But they are here to guide us into creating our own reality and the highest possible reality that we're wanting. So I hope that makes some sense. Sometimes as you're asking your questions of guidance, it's best, I would be, you're going to have more powerful guidance if you ask questions like what's for my highest good, or what's the best, open questions, yes and no questions. Sometimes you'll be guided beyond the yes and no, but because you're asking a yes and no question, when it's not a straight yes and no, you might miss it. So I really recommend that you ask questions that are more open-ended. So instead of, should I sell my house or keep my house? That's a yes or no. It's like, what's in my highest good around the house? What's the best decision I can make around the house for right now? Because the yes, it might be a no right now, and 3 weeks later might be the perfect timing. I hope that's making sense. We're not going to get into all of that. We have a whole program on guidance called Guidance on Demand. That I go into more of that detail, but I just want you to understand that. So, just ask. I'm always just ask, what's the highest good? What's for my highest good? You will be shown your greater truths. You'll be shown how to let go of beliefs that don't serve you anymore. A lot of times it will just seem like it's the next logical step. A lot of times, if you're not getting answers directly right now, then that if I'm trying to make a decision and I'm not getting a clear answer, then for me it's wait. I just don't make my decision right then. And that's a little different than saying no decision means no. In this case, it's not for now. It's a no for now. That's what it means. All right. Okay, so what more do I want to say about that? I think that's it. So if you're expecting your guidance to look a certain way or to be answered in a certain way, then you're going to miss it, and you're going to block the actual information that's being given you, or it's always being given. Let me take that back. They're talking to us. They're guiding us always. Are we open? Are we listening? That is really the crux of it. And so I am going to bring my guides, Theos, in and have them take us through a journey so that we're strengthening this connection to our source energy and to spirit and to our inner guidance. So yes, this is a good time for you to get into a comfortable position. If you've got phones that are going to go off or things going off on your computer, it'd be time for you to shut those down. It's also a time for you to, hey Aaron, it's a time for you to just close your eyes and really go within for the moment. Very warm greeting from Theos. We're wanting you to understand that in every journey that you're carried through, you are in the asking mode. You are always in the energy of being open to receiving the answers to that which you have been asking for. There are many, many shifts that are already happening. There are many other shifts that are waiting to happen for you as you ask for your inner guidance as you ask through the divine, as you ask through your spirit, and to allow the answers to come through. The God source that you are God source. You are extensions of God source. Magnificent beings that you are. And to understand all of your answers are already within you. All of your answers are within you, and they have been given. And so as you consider an area in your life that you've been wanting changes, you've been wanting it to be different, connecting to your guidance, asking from the higher realms, ask for the ability to bring in the shift in the situation in order for it to be different. And as you make this connection with your inner guidance, feel yourself being wide open. Your channel, literally a channel between you and your spirit, your guides. Source energy, and allow it. Be in the place of allowing and receiving. And as you do, you can sense this beautiful, beautiful shimmering light. This is the light which is your connection. And so breathe into this connection even now. And as you know, understand that the connection is blending and merging that with your physical conscious awareness through your ethereal body and beyond into your energy body. And as you bring to mind any question you are asking, bring it to mind. Asking for the highest possible good, knowing that all questions are being answered. And feel yourself relaxing into the energy, feeling the connection with the higher realms, with your higher self, your inner guidance. Surrounded by love that is beyond all measure for you. And releasing any thought just for a moment to become fully within this present moment. Asking for your greater truth. And if there's any feeling of uncertainty, perhaps there may be a bit of doubt, ask for the release of that. Ask for the release of any limited beliefs. Ask for the release in any attachments you may hold. And feel your connection as it becomes stronger as you go deeper and deeper within. Your higher self, your guides, your inner guidance, it is wanting you to know the fullness of who you are. You are love. You are light. And anytime you feel any fear or doubt or lack or limitation, understand it is not your truth. And you have the ability to release anything that you are not wanting to embrace. And remember, you have the opportunity to ask for help always, moment by moment. You are fully supported. So ask for your inner guidance. Ask the higher realms of whatever it is that you're wanting. And feel the shift. Feel the lightness as your truth is revealed. Feel the peace and acknowledge your own growth and expansion as a result. The greater consciousness is being made available to you. And anything less than your truth is dissolving, dissipating, being released. Now notice if there are any other thoughts, any limiting thoughts or doubts. Let it bubble up. And see the beautiful light of truth radiating out, dissipating and dissolving all that is anything less than your truth. And if there are any things you are holding on to, things you are wanting to release, things you are afraid to let go of, ask for the ability to do that, to easily and effortlessly release and let go. And to understand that your truth has been there all along. And as you begin to recognize all of the illusory beliefs, the limiting beliefs, the doubts, the fears, the old patterns, they have no power. No power over you. It is not real. And so feel the energy of the illusory beliefs, doubts, fears, that which is not your truth, dissolving, dissipating. And feel yourself opening to the greater consciousness of you. There may still be beliefs that are lurking, beliefs that perhaps you are not worthy, or that it is not easy, or that things are difficult. And understand anything that comes up in that way is belief that you are needing to cooperate in a certain way in order to get what it is you are wanting. Perhaps you are doubting what's real and what isn't. Allow it to bubble up. It's all right. There's no power in it. And now ask your inner guidance to release all the doubts, all the illusory beliefs, and understand that the truth is available to you, that you have the answers. They're being given. Be open to release. And now open to allow. Allow the truth of who you are. And as you do, you are even more open to receive. You are all powerful, all knowing. The broader, wiser part of you. As you blend and merge with the energy of the fullness of who you are. And as you continue to connect with the higher realms and your inner guidance, understand you are beginning to know that which is truth. You're beginning to accept the fullness of who you are and accept the shifts and feel the lightness within you. The cleanness in the energy, the lightness. You are light. You are love. And now find a way back to this moment. And this time, we will infuse you with our love, magnificent being that you are. And for now, we will leave you be. Welcome back. All right, magnificent beings that you are. Have an amazing rest of your day. If any of you want the mindfulness bell instructions document, put #chime in the comments section. Hey, Ben, so good to see you. And so I'm just reviewing what we did over the last 2 to 3 days. 15 minutes of quiet meditation in the morning before you even put your feet on the ground. 15 minutes of quiet, guided meditation, a mantra, whatever works for you. And then the mindfulness bell app, you're going to set the mindfulness bell app to go off randomly during the day. Every hour, on the hour, every other hour, you get to choose what you do. And as it comes on, as the chime goes off, you get quiet, present moment, and be. you are getting out of the way so that your inner guidance and spirit can open the channel within you. Being in a place of gratitude and appreciation is an amazing way to use those 30 seconds to up to 3 minutes every time you drop in during the day. And remember, it's retraining your brain so that we learn in the chaos and the crazy that we can just drop in and connect with Source. So big, big heart hugs, lots of love. We will be tying this all up tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye for now.